We'll start by looking at the I2 page. This is also called the invention page. Does this sound familiar? Invention comes from the canons of rhetoric. Invention consists of ideas to struggle with and develop an understanding of. Right now, I will give you 3 strategies to be able to look at this page without having a panic attack. First strategy is to ask the question, what do I see that I am familiar with? What do I recognize? In this first strategy, you can also ask the questions like, what do I see that confuses me? What am I not familiar with? Now let's practice. Right now, I am in the 8th book of the complex domain on the I2 page. If you have it, you can open it up and follow along. If not, just sit back and relax. What do I see that I am familiar with? I am familiar with the addition symbol. What do I see that may confuse me? Oh, look at here. I notice the use of a pitchfork. I also notice here that the A is in boldface. As you notice here, we are just observing, which is also called attending in the core habits of grammar. The second strategy is finding all the symbols on the I2 page. Are there any symbols that are repeated multiple times? Any Greek letters? Look for variables like X, Y, A, B. We can notice the degree symbol and division symbols. I see the degree symbol here. I see the word sin here. That's a little weird. I wonder why. There are a lot of X's on this page. Looking at these little details gets us away from the huge, overwhelming amount of stuff on this page and can give us little victories of knowledge. Finally, the third strategy is to compare 2 blocks of text together. For example, I notice here that these 2 differ only by the N and the Z. We are comparing not for comprehension, but for observation. Comparison comes from the 5 common topics of dialectic. In summary, the 3 strategies to look at I2 are 1. Look for something familiar or unfamiliar. 2. Find symbols. 3. Compare 2 blocks of text. Obviously, the next step is not to understand these complicated math concepts. We can spend several hours on analyzing page I2, but these 3 strategies will give you a foothold in using the math map. Remember, the goal of learning math is not to be an expert. Rather, it is to open up our minds to the beauty of God's creation through math. Learning is a lifelong process, and just embrace being a learner. Now let's go on to the I3 page. This is the Memoria and Arrangement page. Just as invention is a canon of rhetoric, so too is Memoria and arrangement. Memorizing is an important discipline in classical education by helping us to get the words and terminology into our brains. Arrangement allows us to sort these ideas and organize them. The I3 page along with the charts, show all these various ideas and gives us something to memorize. Charts have a lot of facts. My suggestion would be to use charts as a reference guide while doing the problem pages. The I3 page, on the other hand, gives us topics and ideas to focus our memorization efforts on. Various students memorize in various ways. Just as foundation students use songs and movements and other ways to memorize, you can find ways to memorize based on your own child's ability. Since you will see this year after year, you don't have to memorize everything all at once. Perhaps memorizing just one fact or one group of facts is enough. Remember, in the classical model, we will be repeating facts again and again, either in later lessons or in the coming years. With that said, here is a couple of suggestions to help you with this. First, you can look for similarities. In this way, you can group facts to memorize into one. Second, you can use mnemonics. Can you create a word or phrase out of the first letters? Third, you can make a chant. Is there a clever chant that you can help you remember more easily? Fourth, make motions. Is there a hand gesture that you can use? Fifth, do it 7 times, just like in foundations. So this is one that I kind of know well. On the week 8 I3 page, we can see that there is sine, cosine, and tangent. It tells us that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So let's look at similarities. Well, we can see that the ratios only use opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. What kind of mnemonic can we make out of this? Here's one. There is SOH, CAH, TOA. Now we can use it and make a chant. So ka toa. How about we make a motion? Perhaps we can make a triangle with our hands. And then we can repeat this chant 7 times. So ka toa. 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 Once you get this down, you should not have any kind of major problem learning cosecant, secant, and cotangent, which are just the inverses of those various ratios. So as you do the problems, try to do the problems using the facts that you memorized without looking.